Manziel. 5 years later, how am I the man still? Draft day, A. Wiggins. Fuck that other side, bitch, we stay winning. Oh man, you know what?
Happy draft day, everybody. It's probably the most it is the most exciting event of the offseason. Kicking off tonight, the NFL draft in Texas, somewhere in Texas. So let's go. Pylon Unscripted. So when I woke up this morning and I was just going through my NFL headlines, the last, little leak, little rumor, whatever, that's coming out now is that the Cleveland Browns are seriously considering taking Baker Mayfield with the #1 overall pick. So what does that mean? Doesn't mean anything, because it's the latest trend in the cycle. We went from Sam Darnold #1 overall to Josh Allen #1 overall. And there is this 2-3 week period where Saquon Barkley was gonna go #1, and then now it's Baker Mayfield. I've told you guys I don't really follow college football like that, but obviously I follow NFL, so just what I'm picking up from evaluators and the like is that what I'm picking up so far is that I think Cleveland should just play it safe and just take the consensus top quarterback in Sam Darnold. And the reason why is because the list is out there. 22 starting quarterbacks since the 1990s. They keep missing and missing and missing. You take these flyers on Johnny Manziel. You're starting the guy's name, I don't even know his freaking name, Kevin Hogan, whatever. You had a brief period where you had Josh McCown. Point is, you're taking #1 overall. This is a great quarterback class. Don't try to be cute and take Josh Allen because he can throw the ball 80 yards down the field. Don't try to be cute and take rough and tough and hoo-ha and a short quarterback in Baker Mayfield, even though he just might be very, very good. Just take Sam Darnold. Don't Cleveland, you're at a point right now where actually things are on the up and up. You have you brought in all these marquee names. Your team is loaded with talent right now, and you have the 1st and 4th pick in the draft. Take the consensus top quarterback, the one with the lowest bust. Well, I wouldn't even say lowest bust potential. I'll get to that in a minute. But just take the consensus guy. Make the safe pick, and then go ahead and, if you want to, if Saquon Barkley is there at #4, go take him. If not, then take Bradley Chubb and pair him with Myles Garrett and have a fearsome pass rushing duo. Just conform. I'm the main one who always says that people shouldn't conform to stuff, but just conform on this one moment right now and just take Sam Darnold. Be safe. Let him go in there and throw to the guys, Josh Gordon, Jarvis Landry, all the likes and all that, and you're going to go to bed at night sleeping very well just so you have Sam Darnold under center. You made the right move. Now, if there's going to be some hindsight bias, if let's say Baker Mayfield has a slightly better career than Sam Darnold, and it's probably possible because the biggest knock on Darnold is the accuracy issues. So just take him. I don't even care. Just take him. You take not accuracy issues, turnover issues. The accuracy issues are with Josh Allen. So you'd be stupid if you're throwing 56% in college. It's not going to translate to the NFL. It's not going to get that much better. Take Sam Darnold. Try to coach him up. Learn to live with the turnovers, and go to bed happy. More in the quarterback news. My quarterback opinion. Josh Rosen, just from what I've seen on highlights and just certain games that I've watched, he's my personal favorite quarterback just because the way the guy is the most... Seeing him play quarterback is probably... I would consider that an honor. The way it comes out of his hand is beautiful, throwing motion beautiful. And then he's probably the most pro-ready, not even pro-ready. He's the most natural quarterback in this draft class, just from what I've seen. But obviously, you have the knocks on him with would I want to work with the guy? Guy comes off as a dick. He also has a very, very slight build. So durability comes into play. To which I say to those two things, one, athletes in general are dicks. Odell Beckham, in his personal life, he's probably a scumbag. Des Bryant, scumbag. Let's take it over to the quarterbacks. Cam Newton, he might be sexist. He's definitely a dick. He's pompous. He's arrogant. Aaron Rodgers, he's aloof. Peyton Manning, I know he rubbed people the wrong way, and so does Tom Brady, the greatest, well, y'all consider the greatest quarterback of all time. Just the list goes on and on. Like, we know how athletes are. They have the cameras on them all the time. They get everything they want. They're in the spotlight. They can get everything at the snap of their finger. Like, athletes just in general are dicks, especially football players. You're bigger and stronger and faster than everyone else, so, you know, naturally, and they're natural alphas too, so they're gonna come off as dickish. So I don't, as far as Josh Rosen's personality, I wouldn't look too far into that. And if a team wants to pass on him just because of that, they're idiotic. Now, as far as the durability goes, he has a slight build. I'm not sure how many games he missed in college, or if he did, but I haven't heard of any significant injury issues that the guy has had. So if you're just concerned, I didn't fart. That was me moving in my car seat. Good. Just need to establish that right now. So if you're concerned about him being injured because he's little, how about you protect your investment and get an offensive line around him? I'm not sure how Cleveland's offensive line is, but generally the past few years, I haven't heard of... Look it up. I'm just gonna keep talking BS while I look up these stats, these numbers. But as a Ravens fan, hold on, team sack. I spelled team wrong. Teams. Yeah, I can't multitask. Don't make fun of me. Sacks allowed. 2017 team passing stats. Before I even look at the numbers, I'm just saying generally as a Ravens fan, what's his face? The Browns' offensive line has generally been decent to good. So let's go to sacks. So the team who gave up the most sacks last year was Indianapolis. Oh wow. Alright, Cleveland gave up the 6th most sacks in the NFL. Well, I don't know, even still. Point is, if you're concerned about how your quarterback gets, or how your quarterback's going to react to getting sacked because he's small, I would say, why don't you do your job as a GM, as a team owner, and you don't want your quarterbacks getting hit at all, so why don't you just try to, you know, get an offensive line in place? That shouldn't drop Josh Rosen just because he's, you know, he's smaller than everyone else. No, like, oh, my biggest concern is that I don't know if he's going to get up after getting hit after getting sacked. Well, make sure he doesn't get sacked then. He is by far the best thrower of the football in this draft, and if I was Cleveland, I would take him number 1 overall. But, you know, these college draft analysts know more than me. They follow college football more than me, so I guess they're just keyed in on Sam Darnold. But my favorite quarterback is Josh Rosen. Just watching him, he's better at throwing the football, the quarterback's main job, than all the other guys in this draft. So that's why I would take him. But wrapping up this quarterback stuff, I have to tie it in with my Baltimore Ravens. There's been reports picking up steam that the Baltimore Ravens are thinking about drafting Lamar Jackson at number 16. Wow. If that happens tonight, what is going to be my reaction? Well, if I just look at highlights or the draft breakdown YouTube channel where, you know, you type it in the search bar, Lamar Jackson versus, and it brings up a whole bunch of teams. The highlights show that the dude just runs a lot, way more than I would want out of my quarterback. But then the guy threw, like, you know, you watch the versus videos for draft breakdown, the guy threw 40 touchdowns. That's freaking amazing. I don't like his release. The ball comes out a little wobbly for my liking, just from what I've seen. But uber talented athlete. He can play. Quarterback's his position, which I hate when they do that with African American quarterbacks. They always try to change their position in the draft process. Like, bruh, he's a quarterback. Like, just let him be. But if we were to take him, I don't know how I would feel about that. I wouldn't throw my hands up and be angry, but I would just be like, I don't know. The one game I actually sat down and watched Lamar Jackson, just because obviously he had the whole Heisman Trophy buzz and being one of the top college players. I watched him against Alabama last year, and I came away extremely unimpressed. I was like, this dude is trash. He's complete trash. Like, because I was basing it off of, all right, let me watch him to see if he's actually good, if he could actually last in the league, by you going against the top defense in the country with a bunch of potential pro players on it, and he wet the bed. Now, could that be just because Alabama outclasses Louisville just an NFL talent? Maybe. But he wasn't making things any better. He was completely terrible in that game. So that gives me pause. And then you just also have to consider what the Ravens actually need. Now, you know how I feel about Joe Flacco? I was of the mindset before last season, I was like, listen, if we're going to suck, we need to suck. We need to be in the top 5. That way we can get a guy like Josh Rosen or Baker Mayfield, one of the top quarterbacks. But we were 8-8, like we have been the past, well, since we won the Super Bowl. So we have to deal with that. And we have an out to get rid of Flacco next year, and next year the quarterback class isn't looking that great. Waste my gas. But I would appreciate it more if we took a guy, if he's there, like Calvin Ridley, because his routes are freaking filthy. There's a lot of talk about us getting DJ Moore too, but again, when I watch the versus videos for draft breakdown, attributing to you guys, he runs a lot more of those jailbreak screens that you do on Madden than I like. I don't think he's a great route runner. That's why I wouldn't be okay. I wouldn't like that pick very much. He's physical, but I don't know. I just wouldn't like it. Flacco does suck, but we haven't given him talent to work with. And the receiver additions that we got with Michael Crabtree, John Brown, Willie Snead, whoever the hell that is, that's not going to make him better. Those are still average players at the position. Michael Crabtree, all right, probably above average, but still. Joe Flacco is not good, and we do need to think about moving on from him soon, but I don't think Lamar Jackson is the guy that you want to move on. I don't think he's the guy that you want to replace Flacco with. And then also, you're making the bold claim, if we take Lamar Jackson, that, hey, as early as next year, dude's going to be starting for us. Okay? But who's he going to throw to? Like, seriously, we have no one. We have no tight ends. Michael Crabtree, his deal is 3 years, but it's basically a 1-year deal. You know, by the time Lamar Jackson would take the field, if it's next year, he's going to be in his 30s. We don't have a young guy. John Brown, he did some things with the Cardinals a few years ago, but mostly he suffered injuries, and he just might be a one-trick pony. We're going to see this year. Willie Snead. He had some productive years in New Orleans, but just, is he the guy? Obviously not. So that's why I would be averse to us taking Lamar Jackson if you're not a force multiplier, if you're not going to make the people around you better, if you don't have that Tom Brady or Aaron Rodgers quality in you, where it doesn't matter who's lining up wide, who's lining up in the slot, I'm going to get you the ball, I'm going to put up numbers, and we're going to win some games. I don't think Lamar Jackson is that guy. Now, could he compensate for the lack of receiving talent with running the ball? Maybe, but as we've seen with other read option quarterbacks or athletic quarterbacks, Colin Kaepernick and probably some other guys who flamed out that I don't even freaking remember, is that NFL defenses adjust to, those run first mentality. I'm not even going to say he's run first. Those quarterbacks who like to run, the NFL defenses adjust to that after about a year. So again, once that is taken away, is his arm talent good enough for him to be a force multiplier to where you make others around you better? And I don't think, from what I've seen, I just don't think Lamar Jackson is that guy. Because if you are a force multiplier, you go against a disciplined defense like Alabama and you wet the bed. Now, granted, your receiving talent probably wasn't that good, but it's going to be the same situation in Baltimore. You're going to be going against NFL defenses, but you're going to have a lack of receiving talent around you. Once they take away that running option, what are you going to do for this offense? Are you going to throw guys open? Are you just going to make your pass catchers better than they actually are? I don't see that in Lamar Jackson, so that's why I wouldn't do it if I was the Ravens. It would be a cool pick, but I don't know. I just wouldn't do it. As far as who I want, if we go offense and he's there, I want Calvin Ridley. Dude runs the filthiest routes I've seen out of receiver prospects in the past couple years. If we don't take Calvin Ridley, if this guy's there too, then I know it's not offense and Baltimore wants offense, but I would take Derwin James out of FSU. Dude looks like a baller. He looks like a less buff version of Cam Chancellor. I know we have Eric Weddle and we have Tony Jefferson, but Eric Weddle, he's in his 30s right now, so he's gonna fall off probably in the next year or two. And Derwin James just seems like that type of guy that you want on your team. I want us to get offense, but if we take Derwin James, I would be absolutely ecstatic with that. He's gonna get on the field this year if we do take him. Let's see what else. Look at my phone real quick and see what while we're on the subject of the Ravens, just gonna make a brief mention of this about Dez Bryant turning down a multi-year offer from us. One, I'm not surprised, because like I said, no one wants to really play for us anymore, just because we don't have, those veteran leaders, like a veteran Hall of Famers like a Ray Lewis or Ed Reed to attract people there. Baltimore's not an attractive place to be, and we don't have a great quarterback. So, offensive talent isn't going to want to go there. And Dez Bryant right now is out to prove that, I still have some juice left. So why would I go to a quarterback who could potentially suppress me as much as more than what Dak Prescott did? And I don't blame him for, which I'd have liked. I feel like I maybe would have liked having Dez. I don't know. I wouldn't have been opposed to it. But I mean, if you don't want to play for Baltimore, you don't want to play for Baltimore. I understand it, but I don't think it's a smart move for him. He needs to sign somewhere. I think it's very, very idiotic that he still is not with a team, and the draft is tonight. You're gonna make less money with all these receiver needy teams selecting their picks in the first round, and then you got the undrafted free agent pool. They're going to want to take a flyer on a younger guy who's less high maintenance. He's going to be cheaper. I don't get why he hasn't signed anywhere. And could it be because the market for him is it definitely wasn't as hot as I thought it would be. That we've just seen that. The Giants don't want him. The Redskins, they need a receiver. They don't. Frick. Wow, that just hit me. Des Bryant, like I said in my previous video, I feel like he would have been great for the Redskins, and they have the cap space, and they're not taking him. So that means the Redskins are probably gonna get my guy Calvin Ridley. Damn it. Frick. Baltimore, please try to trade up. Damn it! Damn! 1 minute. Yeah, so Redskins aren't entertaining the idea of Des Bryant. They're probably going to take a receiver now. Frick. Yeah, nobody's offering you anything. So why are you waiting until after the draft when all these, young bucks who are faster, probably maybe even a little bit stronger, and probably just simply better at this point than you, or have the potential to be better than you, they're going to be filling up the spots, and you don't have a spot. The reports are he turned down the multi-year deal because he wants a 1-year deal to prove that he can still be productive. Which I get to thinking, what you want to do is sign a 1-year, $14 million contract. Ball, hopefully you stay healthy. And then the next year, you sign a multi-year deal, but you still get, maybe around 12 or 10, as opposed to maybe the multi-year deal in Baltimore where you would have gotten, I don't know, maybe $7 to $8 million a year. So basically, what he was thinking is I can make $14 million this year, and then sign a multi-year deal next year and still make about 10 to 12 million. That way I don't have to humble myself and take 7 to 8 million, or maybe even 5 million that these teams are offering. Sounds good in theory, but Des Bryant, you're an idiot. The reason why is because, dude, you're like 30. What team next year is gonna commit 10 to 12 million for a 30-year-old receiver who's slow, who's slowing down in his production, and who ain't as good as he once was? You're gonna have to take that 5 to 7 million eventually. No one's gonna, and especially now with the climate, with the market for you not being that high, you're not gonna make 14 million. You're probably not even gonna make 10 million at this point. So what you were thinking is like, I'm gonna go out there, I'm gonna put up 1,200 yards, around 10 touchdowns, 80 receptions, make 14 million this year, and the team's gonna be, wow, dude still got it. And then go out there and still make double figures in the millions. No, you're not. It's not how it works. You're gonna be 30. You're difficult to work with. The league's out on you. You're one-dimensional. You don't run routes like that. You're not gonna get that money, Des. Humble yourself and just it's better for you to take a multi-year deal and latch on for maybe 3 years than opposed to, you signing a 1-year deal, wetting the bed, and then no one signs you the next year. Idiot. Alright, yeah. I just had to address that real quick. Let's see. Headlines. Panthers, Greg Olsen agreed to terms on extension. Alright, good for him. Ooh, I see Josh Allen. Yeah, I was in the gym today and I saw that the stuff about those old tweets where he keeps on saying the N-word and possibly racist and all that, offensive tweets. White guys say that. Not white guys. White people say the N-word all the time. And I'm not saying that they should say it. It's wrong. But I don't know. I just think it's funny. Watch him still get picked in the top 5 for literally saying the N-word and it's out there. He's still going to get picked in the top 5. And then, Colin Kaepernick is standing up for racial injustices. Obviously, it's not comparable, to what Allen said, but we don't want you kneeling because it offends the fans. How about offending the players and a good portion of the fans for saying the N-word? Like, come on. I personally wouldn't. Like I said, I'm hoo-ha about it. I'm just like, all right, whatever. He was in high school. It's not a big deal, but I just think it's gonna be funny that this guy's gonna get picked in the top 5, top 10, and people are gonna, owners see themselves in the future committing $100 million to this guy, for, being that offensive. And then, Colin Kaepernick is standing up for racial injustice issues and nobody even wants to even touch him. That's funny. But yeah, I think I said this earlier, but I don't think he should even go number 1 overall just because he's not accurate. Cleveland can't afford to take a project quarterback, especially when your team is this loaded right now. You don't need a project who can't complete a pass to save his life. So, yeah. Where do I see him going? I literally just posed that question in my head. Arizona. Arizona, they pick in the early teens, and they need a quarterback, a big arm. He has a lot of arm talent, so just off the top of my head, Arizona. What else is there to talk about? Pretty much got the quarterbacks. Dez. I'm just going to go through Mike Mayock's mock draft, and I'll tell you guys if I agree with it. Sam Darnold, number 1 overall. Yeah, safe pick. I would do that. Well, I would go Rosen, but I would be okay with Cleveland taking Sam Darnold. Yeah, no brainer. Number 2, Saquon Barkley to New York Giants. I think they should get a quarterback. I think it should be Josh Rosen at number 2. Because Eli Manning's over the hill. He's not going to win you any games. And then you're also taking Saquon Barkley to where he's not... I think there are only a few games in his college career where he carried the ball over 20 times. He's a great talent, but he's going to go to a place where there isn't an offensive line in place. So that's going to be difficult. And then also, just in theory, Odell needs his targets, Sterling Shepard needs his targets, Evan Ingram needs his targets. So where does that leave Saquon? Excuse me. Only one ball to go around. If I were them, I would take a quarterback. Saquon's talented. He deserves to go number 2, but I wouldn't do it if I was New York. Baker Mayfield to the Jets. Baker Mayfield in the number 1 media market, immature number 1 media market in the entire world. Again, I would take, if he was there, I would take Rosen. But I could see he could very, very well thrive. He's undersized, yes, but probably if he was maybe 3 to 4 inches taller, he would be seen on the level of off the field issues aside. If he didn't have the off the field issues either, he would probably be considered the number 1 quarterback if he wasn't so short. Baker Mayfield to New York, I like it. I would take Rosen if he was there. Bradley Chubb to Cleveland, I would do that. Myles Garrett, best pass rusher last year, best pass rusher this year. Pair them together. You got an uber talented team. Get after those quarterbacks. Big Ben, he's on his last legs. Joe Flacco, not necessarily the most mobile quarterback ever. Yeah, I like that. Quentin Nelson to Denver. Sound like a broken record. If he was there, I would take Rosen. But yeah, if they're really committed to Case Keenum being the guy to get them back to where they were before, then yeah, you're taking perhaps the best player in the draft, Quentin Nelson, the top-rated guard, to an offensive line that has struggled. Yeah, so if John Elway is actually convinced that Quentin Nelson, or not, if John Elway is convinced that Case Keenum is his guy, then yeah, sure, give him offensive line help. Josh Allen to Buffalo. I don't care. They need a quarterback. Just take one. Go ahead. Whatever. Derwin James to Tampa Bay at number 7. I definitely think he deserves to go there, but I think it's just shocking that everyone's been on the Minka Fitzpatrick bandwagon all draft season. So to see Derwin James get picked before Minka, that's interesting. Raquan Smith, linebacker of the Bears. This would surprise me because they took Mitchell Trubisky last year, and then you have no receiver help whatsoever. I think they should take the top-rated receiver. But I could see why they might pass on a receiver there is because there are 3 receivers taken in the top 10 last year, and all of them sucked. So, so I could see why they would pass a receiver. But if I were them, I would take one just because, I mean, you just got a young guy and he has no one to throw to, so. But if you're taking best player available there, then I understand. Denzel Ward, cornerback to San Francisco, pair him with Richard Sherman. In theory, that sounds good. But then you also have to consider that the guy you just made the highest paid, is he the highest paid quarterback? One of the highest paid quarterbacks, Jimmy Garoppolo. He has no one to throw to. So again, receiver here would make sense. But I like the pairing. Top-ranked cornerback paired with one of the best cornerbacks in the league, Richard Sherman. That could work. But again, I would take receiver. Raiders, offensive line, Michael McGlynn, I don't even know how to say his name. Protect Derek Carr? Sure. I think you need help on defense, definitely, so you should take Minka Fitzpatrick there if he's there. But if you want to protect your $100 million man, then okay, I get it. Tremaine Edmonds to Miami. It's one of those. Miami's just one of those teams that just need talent. So if he's yeah, I've heard a lot. Yeah, because the station I work at now, Virginia Tech is like the big local school or whatever. So, and he's a top 10 talent. So, yeah, the sports guys here have been really, really covering him, and he seems really, really talented. So, yeah, Miami's just a team that just needs talent. So, if that's, you know, the top-ranked player there, then go ahead and get him. Now we have Minka Fitzpatrick. I keep saying Fitzpatrick. Minka Fitzpatrick, number 12 overall to the Indianapolis Colts. Yeah, I like that. They have no defense whatsoever. You could go offensive line because Andrew Luck's coming back, supposedly. But they're a talent-deficient team, but their defense is just straight trash, just straight horrible. Vontae Davis isn't there anymore, so you spent a high draft pick on Malik Hooker last year. Then you pair him with one of the best safeties, one of the best players in this draft, Minka Fitzpatrick. All right, it could work. Vita V, Washington, number 13. Have him on that defensive line with Jonathan Allen. It just shows that, you know, Washington's just trying to get stouter up front. If I was them, I would go receiver, but it works in my favor if they do actually pass on one. Yeah, Vita V, Jonathan Allen, Kerrigan, I like that. Jair Alexander, Louisville to Green Bay. Yeah, they need secondary help. They do. They need to get better on defense. Josh Rosen to Arizona, 15. I love that. Whew. Best quarterback in the draft, in my opinion. Give him Larry Fitzgerald to throw to. They could go receiver here, but yeah, I like Josh. I love Josh Rosen to Arizona. Actually, that seems perfect. Lamar Jackson to Baltimore, 16. I already told you about that. How I feel about getting Lamar Jackson. Defensive line help for San Diego. Give Joey Bosa some help. Okay, sure. They're not going to win anything. Marcus Davenport to Seattle. Plays Michael Bennett. Okay, I could see that. Freakish athlete. Dallas Cowboys take Cortland Sutton. Is this the first receiver taken? I think it is. Yeah, it is. Yeah, Cortland Sutton to Dallas. Yeah. Big physical. He's not physical. Yeah, he's just big. He can run good for his size, but I don't see a lot of physicality in this game. But I don't know. You take a big guy to replace Des Bryant on a receiver corps full of nobodies. Okay, yeah, I can see that. I think the guy, he said Dallas is his favorite team growing up. He's either Dallas is his favorite team or he's a Texas native, something like that. But yeah, Cortland Sutton to Dallas, I like that. Harold Landry to Detroit. I don't know this guy, but I'm just thinking the future is Ziggy Ansah. Isn't that... I don't know the situation with Ziggy Ansah, so I'm assuming that The reason why he mocked Harold Landry to Detroit is, I guess, the future is cloudy with Ziggy Ansah. Yeah, we're getting in the 20s now, and like I said, I don't follow college like that, so I probably sound like an idiot these next 12 picks, but oh well. Center Frank Ragnow to Bengals. Sure. Offensive line help for India, number 22. Sure. Offensive line help to the Patriots. They lost Nate Solder. Okay, I could see that. Calvin Ridley to Carolina at 24. In theory, I like it because Cam needs more weapons, and then they just got the punk Torrey Smith. He's not a polished receiver. Devin Funchess isn't polished. So you need an actual receiver, not an actual athlete at this position. So yeah, I like that, but I just don't know if Cam's gonna be able to get him the ball. Rashaan Evans, linebacker to Tennessee. Their front seven wasn't that good last year, so yeah, I like that. Taven Bryan, I have no clue who that is, going to Atlanta, but they don't have a defense, so okay. DJ Moore to New Orleans. That could work. Yeah, that could work. You got Michael Thomas. He's elite. You just lost Willie Snead, who was a slot receiver. You put him with... so, yeah, you pair him with Drew Brees, who's with the best slot receiver in the draft. I like the pick, but I don't like the player, because I've seen him get mocked to the Ravens, and I don't know. I just see... I like how physical he is. He looks like a running back. He reminds me of... Don't jump on me, but he reminds me of C. Smith and just how he moves and the physicality he plays with, like, yards after the catch. But I don't think he's necessarily a good route runner, because the routes I see him run are literally just jailbreak screens and curls. So I like the pick, but I don't like the player. Running back Sonny Michael to Steelers. I feel like if the Steelers take a running back in the first round, when they just... Didn't they take a running back high last year? If I can recall, I think they did, but I might be wrong on that. But you're taking a nice home run threat, dual threat, Sonny Michael, 28 for Pittsburgh. That would just tell me that they plan on moving on from Le'Veon Bell. They're tired of his shenanigans. Hayden Hurst to Jacksonville. Give Blake Bortles another target to throw to. I think Lamar Jackson would be available here, and if he was here. If he does end up being here, I would consider him, but top-ranked tight end. They need help on offense. All right. Offensive line help from Minnesota. Will Hernandez, dude, strong as shit. Dang. Tried my best not to curse on this channel, but yeah. Give Kirk Cousins some protection, some insurance along that offensive line. Good pick here. New England also getting more offensive line help here. Number 31. Okay. I would take an athlete here, though. I would probably take the top-ranked receiver if I was New England here. Top-ranked receiver or top-ranked tight end. And then Darius Geist to Philly. I think he's unspectacular. Just a grinded-out runner. I think his career projection is he's just going to bounce around the league. Finish his career maybe 3-4 teams, but still be a solid overall runner in the mold of maybe like a Ryan Matthews, or even still a LeGarrette Blount, but just without the off the field back. Well, he does have some incidents, as a matter of fact, but just unspectacular running back going to Philly. Yeah, whatever. Okay, I see it. Yeah. I'm about to go home. Am I going to edit this first or make dinner? This is only going to take me probably about 30 minutes to edit, so yeah. I'm just going to throw this on the laptop real quick and upload it. That way you guys can consume it, talk crap before the draft comes up, and then I'll make dinner. And yeah. You listen to another edition of The Pylon Unscripted. My next video, that if I don't edit it tonight, because I work on the weekends too, so next video I put up is either going to be Blake Bortles' contract, or should Aaron Rodgers be upset with the Green Bay Packers. Those videos should be up in the coming days or whatever. I work on the weekend, so it's probably not going to go up then. But this is definitely going up today. Obviously, if you're looking at it. But yeah, enjoy the draft. I know I am. Let me know who you want your team to get. Or if you comment on this the day after, let me know what you think about your team getting whatever player they got. And happy draft day.